So, hi everyone, welcome to the MBH YouTube channel for our monthly board chat with our CEO, Callum Laing. I'm your host, Lisa Maynard-Atem. So let's get into it. Hi Callum, how are you?
Hey Lisa, I'm great, thanks. Looking forward to this chat.
Me too, me too. I thought we would kick things off by talking about the latest acquisition, Approved Air, which is very exciting. So I'll hand over to you to tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, it's a great one. So David and Caroline Williams have built this fantastic business up, which obviously has kind of been quite topical at the moment, because what they do is they go into typically hospitals and other medical facilities and check on the quality of air. So they sort of monitor the particles in the air and make sure that everything's clean, which is obviously very topical with what's going on in the world. So they've had a great couple of years, but I don't think that's going to change. There's a lot of demand for clean air services, and it's just a nice little business to add to the engineering vertical.
Yeah, it's really, really exciting. Next, I thought we would touch on, I know we've talked about this in previous board chats, but because there have been so many more awards that have been won by companies within MBH, I thought we could talk about that, because I know David Hunter's won some and Acacia as well, Brilliant Victoria. They just seem to be winning awards left, right, and centre. That many, Callum, that I've had to write them down because so I don't forget them.
Right. Well, I'm very glad you're writing them down, because I was thinking the other day that it would be a good thing to add to the annual report, kind of a list of all of the companies in the group that are winning awards. Look, it's fantastic, and interestingly enough, normally the principals tend to be a little bit sheepish and embarrassed about the fact that they've won these awards, because it's never something that they're particularly going for. But they're actually hugely valuable. I think it's a great way. It's great for PR. It's a great great reminder for the staff that what they're doing matters. Often in small business you don't get a lot of recognition, so that's great. And yeah, as you say, Take Me have been winning a lot of awards. The Acacia Group have been winning a lot of awards, it's fantastic to see, and very, very proud of them all.
Yeah, I mean, I've had, like I say, I had to write them down. So David won Business Exec of the Year, the Niche Magazine Award, and they also won Midlands Taxi Business of the Year. Acacia was Employer of the Year Award and Outstanding Contribution to Social Care at the British Care Awards and regional ones. And like literally, those are the ones that I could remember and write down. I'm sure there's been more, but I just think it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the Acacia one, for example, the Employer of the Year, that's very, very meaningful. They really go above and beyond to look after their staff and the teams. And then Vicky personally won as service to healthcare, or something along those lines, which is kind of a reflection of the 20 to 30 years of hard yards that she's put into that sector. So very well deserved, and great to see her getting that recognition. And I think David is still laughing about the fact that he's considered an executive now. But it's really good to see.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Something that you touched on in, I think it was our last board chat, was that there was some exciting sporting news in the pipeline. I was wondering if there was any chance that you could share anything more about that with us.
That close to the press release. I can't just yet. So it's one of the companies in the group is doing something very cool. I can't do that. On the sport related theme though, and I'm not sure whether I touched on this last year, or last call, sorry, that a number of the companies in the group are sponsoring sort of local sports teams.
Yeah.
So we've got Guild Prime is sponsoring local football teams, Academy One is sponsoring local football teams, 3K Engineering, and it's very typical of small businesses that have been in their communities for decades to do that as a way of supporting, and often the kids playing are sort of kids of the staff, and it's a great way of giving back. And it's nice to see more and more of that, and oftentimes we're not aware of it when we bring those companies in, so it's great to see it happening. Interestingly, we've got a bit of a rivalry going on between Guild Prime and A1, because the teams are competitive teams in London, so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, I think I'm a huge fan of sports sponsorship, so hopefully we'll see a lot more across the other groups, as yeah, it's just a great way of giving back to the community and raising awareness.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I will be asking you about the sporting news in our next chat. Hopefully, you'll be able to share some more information with us then. Something else that I wanted to touch on, which I'm quite excited about, is the principals get together in next year. I thought we could talk a little bit about that, because it will be my first one, and I'm just really, really excited. I know you dropped us a message about it the other day, so it'd be lovely to know a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so the last time we all got together as a group in person was actually the Munich Beer Festival, the Oktoberfest. And we always try to have these in-person events, because it's a fantastic time to bring everyone together, to build relationships. And actually we have very large, or I guess very grand plans for these annual get-togethers, which is not just the principals and the board, but also that investors can come and meet the principals and talk to them. But also team members from each of the companies can come and get together, because the more interaction we have between team members, the more opportunities transfer between the companies. So we were kind of building that. The last event that we did in Frankfurt, we invited investors too, and it was very good. And then of course COVID hit, so everything's been virtual. So we're sort of tentatively planning the principals and board members to get together in April of next year, but as you know, the situation kind of changes on a daily basis. So we're keeping this one pretty low key. And look, I mean, half the team we haven't met in person yet, certainly within the group. So this one we're just going to do sort of pretty low key, just a chance for them to sort of have a break from work and spend some time planning the future of how MBH grows. So I'm really looking forward to it. So it's a really they're great events. But I think the opportunity for hopefully the following year is that we make it a much bigger event and are able to invite investors and staff and partners and suppliers and yeah, really turn it into something a bit bigger.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm a bit gutted that we won't be going to another beer festival, but you know.
Can't do that every year. It's not good for the health.
Well, I'm happy to do it. If you change your mind, more than happy to go to a beer festival. Finally, there's been a question from investors around the repayment of bonds. So I just wanted to ask, how does that process work? How do we actually repay the bonds?
Yeah, so we've had a few questions about this. I think we touched on it in a previous video, but just to recap, basically MBH is growing incredibly quickly. I mean, we've sort of gone from 0 to 27 companies in 3 years. The aim is absolutely to do that over the next 3 years when the bonds will be due, hopefully even faster growth. So part of it is that we are planning to grow out of the bonds, so they become a smaller percentage. Some of the bonds are already being repaid by the companies in the group. So spare cash flow is going back to buy bonds from bondholders at a discount, which is very profitable for MBH. It's a great way of doing it. We have had other bondholders that have already requested to extend for another 5 years at the end of their term. So that's another option that we have. And then finally, I think basically the reality is that we will have a lot of options in 3 years' time. We can reissue bonds, we can go to the market to raise capital. Hopefully at that point, without kind of putting forecasts on numbers, but we will be we'll have a lot more weight to look at other financing options. So yeah, we're pretty confident. I mean, debt is something that we manage incredibly closely within MBH, and bonds are our own debt. And So that's we have a little. I guess we're more comfortable with that than external debt, and but even so, the ratio of debt to revenue we watch very closely, and we're very comfortable with where that ratio currently sits. So yeah, shouldn't be any problems with the payback.
Okay. Well, thank you for answering that. Before we go, as I always ask, is there anything else that you can tell us in terms of potential acquisitions in the pipeline or anything like that? I ask you every time.
Yes, and this time I'm going to give away insider information. No, all I can say is it's incredibly busy. We have got, yeah, I mean, this year has been stop, start for everyone, companies in our group, companies in the pipeline. And I think what we're seeing is that there's a real push on a few projects to try and get everything wrapped up before Christmas. So hopefully we'll have some good news before Christmas, not just on companies fronts, but we've also got another interesting project that is pretty exciting. But yeah, fingers crossed we get that announced before Christmas. Otherwise, it'll be in January. But there's lots of cool stuff going on, and there's a real excitement from the companies in the group about 2022. It's just yeah, lots of demand out there, and yeah, I think they're all looking forward to having a week or two off over Christmas and recharging the batteries. But yeah, I mean, looking at the plans and the expectations for next year, it's going to be a fun year for sure.
Oh, I'm looking forward to finding out more about it in our next board chat. Okay, well, that's it from me, unless there's anything else that you want to add.
Nah, all good. Thanks for the opportunity to talk again, Lisa.
No problem at all. See you soon, Callum. And thanks to everybody for watching. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye.